There was another interesting line, call on the experience of workers from the 1970s in general. The hospitality sector in the city is having a disaster this week because we've got industrial action on the railways. In fact, we're going to lose hundreds of days of productive work this year because of ongoing strike action in different sectors of the economy. It won't be lost on a lot of people in technology companies that many of them are losing their jobs at the moment. And some have suggested that may be because once you figure out that you have an employee that can work from home, you figure out that you can go anywhere in the world to find another employee who costs less. So there are a lot of things going on right now around labour mobility and employment and industrial action. Just delve into that advice you've given here about the 1970s and explain perhaps what our audience should be taking from that period and thinking about as they focus on their own household budgets.
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting. So if you've lived in if you live in the United Kingdom, we basically don't know what inflation is unless you're an adult working in the 1970s. And therefore, what I've tried to do over the past 18 months is I try to speak to people who were adults or working people in the 1970s. So in my case, it's my father and my father-in-law. And I asked them exactly what happened. And it's a consistent story. It is inflation is a hidden tax. Inflation, it basically reduces your pay packet every month. And in some cases, you just don't see it happening. And when I speak to them, they just remember the cost of living going up and up each month, each year. And I think that, I think the way that you can prepare for that is, I think it's a very difficult winter. I mean, we have the cost of living crisis is right up there, with this cold snap and the energy prices and things like that. I think it's careful budgeting. And if I think about the stock market in general, I would say that, the things like dollar averaging is extremely important, so that you have a more blended price. But I don't underestimate, these are very difficult times, and it's extremely challenging. But what I like to do is I like to draw on the experience of people who've experienced this, or speak to people who've worked in emerging markets and have experienced in inflation. And on the subject of supporting the city, and the restaurants and the pubs, absolutely right. With the average of working from home 2 days a week, it's extremely challenging. And I think where we can, we need to support these industries, because it's a particularly tough period. And when you throw in rail strikes, what is meant to be a really busy time of the year for them becomes a particularly difficult time.
I couldn't agree more, Charlie. Absolutely. And do you know what? I'm going to do you a real big favour. I'm going to put you in touch with my dad, because he'll talk at you for absolutely hours and days and weeks about the 70s as well. So you're very lucky, Charlie. I'm going to do that and put you two together. He will bang on for absolutely hours, Charlie.